Hello my fellow creators and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I decided I would make some Halloween themed cards. Now I don't have a ton of Halloween paper, but I did go through my stash and I found this paper from Echo Park. So it's the Halloween party paper. And it's a kit that I bought, let's see, I've had it probably about 4 years, maybe 5, let me see. I know I bought it after COVID. And it's actually a 2000, let's see, what year was it? 21. Yeah, so I probably bought it in 22. Anyway, I had this in my stash and I thought I'll just make some Halloween cards and see how many I can make. So I flipped through the papers and let me kind of show you what the papers look like. So my first thought was, okay, I'm gonna make some papers using these cut-aparts. So these are adorable. And I love the pattern paper. I think it's so cute. It's kind of cutesy, but not too cutesy, a little bit spooky, but not too spooky. It's just the perfect mix. So nice papers. And it has quite a few different cut aparts. These are 4x4, but I think I'm gonna go with the 3x4 cut aparts. And then here's our little pumpkins, jack-o'-lanterns, more cut aparts, even more cut aparts. See, this one has quite a few. And then here's some spiders. Here's our sticker sheet. Now I have the sticker sheet here to separate my papers because I have another project planned for these papers. So these papers here, I'm not going to use, get my little stickies off here. I'm not going to use for my cards. I have a different project planned for them, but I want to show you the papers anyway. See how cute they are. And what I will do, let me show you, is I will hopefully get this video done in time to upload on Thursday. And then I will upload the video using these 4 sheets for one of my follow-up Friday videos. So for my cards, I'm going to use papers that I have left. And I pulled in some black cardstock, some orange cardstock. And for some sentiments, I went and grabbed one of the emergency card kits from Sassy's LLC. And in case you're not familiar, Sassy's LLC, she has free printables available to her subscribers with different sentiments. And she also has like additional printables if you join her Patreon at different levels. So some of those may include digital papers or digital images, lots of different things. I'll link to Sassy's LLC in the description box. I'll also be sure to link to any products that are still available that I can find in the description box as well. So here's some of the sentiments that I just printed this one sheet because I'm not going to make too many cards. I'm just going to make a few. But these are perfect because you can just use this 1 3/4 inch circle punch to punch out your circle sentiment. So see, she has different versions. So she has this one with a circle on it. She has one page without the circle in case you want to just print it without a circle on it. You know what? Let me trim off a little edge of that paper so I can get my circle die close enough. I hope I printed it correctly. It's the first time I printed this. I didn't print it at the right, and I don't think I did again. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't print it right. So you have to print it at, I think it's 100%, and I didn't do that. So I'll have like this black line around there, which is fine. What I did last time when I did that is I just went in and kind of outlined it to make it look like I had a matte layer there. But typically, if you print it correctly, in fact, let me go and reprint this so I can show you the difference. Okay, so you can probably already see the difference here. So what I forgot to do was when I printed this on the I forgot what the box is called, but anyway, it's, you put either fit so that it fits on the sheet of paper, or you want it at 100%. So this is at 100%, and see, then I really don't have to trim it. See how I had to trim that to make this fit? I don't have to on this one, and then this will fit inside that circle, and I don't have that black there. See, the circle stays on the outside. Either way would work. I mean, I'm not going to let this one go to waste. I can make that work by just making that my little mat, my black mat. Or I can use a circle die that's just slightly smaller. In fact, I did bring out the emergency card essentials dies #1. And these were developed by Sarah Liz of Sassy's LLC to coordinate with her emergency card kits. So I could grab one of the circle dies here as well. In fact, I'll probably use these circle dies. I love these ones because this one has like this beveled edge that leaves a real nice finish to the circle. So these will be the ones I probably use for my matte layers when I use the colored cardstock. We'll see what I get to on that. So I have these, and I'll link to these. These you can get either at Trinity Stamps or at scrapbook.com. And I checked before hitting record today, and they're available at both places. So I'm not going to finish cutting these sentiments quite yet. I want to cut my paper first so I can see just how many sentiments I'm going to actually need, because as I said, I am going to use those cut aparts, and some of them already have sentiments. As you can see, this one says Happy Halloween. This one's double toil and trouble. So kind of see where I go from there. Now along those lines, knowing that I wanted to use these 3x4 cut aparts, I went through the different binders I have of all my card sketches. I have sketches by Call Me Crafty Al, so I have sheet load sketches, I have Kendra's card challenge sketches, I have just craft sketches, I have Mojo Monday. I have sketches galore. But I pulled in my Operation Right Home sketches, and I'm going to use this one right here. And this one is sketch number 82. And I like this one because I know it says that each of these sheets of paper is 3 1/4 by 4 1/2. But as you know, sketches are just jumping off points. You can kind of adjust them to meet your needs. So I think it'd be fine to have both of these as 3x4 pieces of pattern paper or cut aparts. And then another piece of either cardstock or just your card base back here, or another piece of pattern paper. So this is what I'll be following. And then depending on what the cut apart is that I use, for example, if I use just this one, then I might need a sentiment here. So then I could maybe pull in one of these, and in place of the heart, I would put a circle there. So that's my thought process on what I'll do. And then these cards I'm going to use to coordinate with the project I'm making in the next day's video. So my follow-up Friday video. So this should come out on Thursday, and then my follow-up Friday will come out the next day. Okay, so let's get started, why don't we? Now, I'm not going to chit-chat through the whole thing. I might pop in here and there, and if I remember something I want to mention to you. I am going to use black card bases, and trying to think if there's anything else I want to mention that I have ready to go, but I think that's everything. Okay, so let me get all my papers cut and ready to go and put all my cards together, and I'll play some fun Halloween music while I do that. typically what I like to do is try one card before I go in and do the rest. And I was seeing if I liked having a matte layer behind here, and I kind of do. Even though the sketch doesn't really call for one, let me pull that sketch in. And then also the sketch, if you see the back 3x4 is straight centered on the card, and I angled mine. So again, make the sketch your own. You can change it up however you want. So I think I'm going to go ahead and add matte layers to most of them. If the card matte is, for example, orange like this, I won't add a black matte layer because obviously the card base is black. But when I can, I'll add that orange matte. And I know it's a little brighter than the orange of the card pattern paper, but I think it looks fine. Oh, and you may have seen I cut out from one of those matte layers this orange circle to add as a matte layer behind this sentiment. That way I'm not having to cut more paper for that. So I'll be doing that for the other two. So for example, on these two, I'm going to add a, should I add a black matte layer? I'll add a black matte layer on these. So I'll cut the center circle out of these black matte layers. Alrighty friends, I've got my cards done. Let's see them. So I made 12 cards because there were 12 cut-aparts. So let's take a look at all 12. Let me see if I can get them all to fit on screen because I am terrible at gauging space. So let me scooch them over and look at my screen, see if they're all in there. Okay. And I think I like the way they all turned out. I like that some have that orange matte layer and some have the black. Black card base was the perfect choice. And I'm excited for you to see what I am going to do tomorrow for my follow-up Friday to go with these cards. Now, you'll see I did add to a few of these cut-aparts that didn't have a sentiment on them. I added some of the emergency card sentiments from Sassy's LLC, and that was from, oh, let me look. Her volume 79, her Cutie Halloween emergency card sentiments. Again, I'll link to Sassy's LLC in the description box. And then I did add to the inside some white cardstock, and then I added some of the sticker strips from the sticker page, as well as some of the, let me find one, the pattern paper that I had left over. So all in all, I think I used, let's see, I used 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets of pattern paper to make 12 cards. Not bad, right? And then I used the Operation Right Home sketch number 82. And the pattern paper I used, let me find the name of it again, was Halloween Party. So I think it turned out super cute, 12 cute Halloween cards. I may or may not go back and add some little embellishments, maybe some little gems or enamel dots. Not sure. I'm kind of thinking about it, but we'll see. We'll see what I do. In any case, I think they turned out great. Let me know in the comments below, do you make Halloween cards? I typically don't, but I thought it would be something fun and different to do. Now, don't forget to stay tuned for tomorrow's follow-up Friday to see what I do to coordinate with these cards. All in all, making these 12 cards took me about an hour and 40 minutes. That's from choosing my pattern paper to cutting it and matting everything, putting them all together. So I think that's a pretty good time span for 12 cards, don't you? Thanks so much for sticking around to the end. I'd be thrilled if you subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on any of my other social media platforms. As always, have a beautiful, safe, and creative day. Thanks for watching. Bye.